So with our handsome Mr. Z, nice, what a good boy. We were working a little bit with the toy exchanges and kind of working the beginning stages of take it and drop it, but also some exchanging between different toys. As I mentioned, my little one is here, so sometimes there's little moments where we take little breaks. There is some maintenance going on in the building too, so at some point, one of the gentlemen might poke in, so hopefully it's not during a filming moment, but you never know. So for Mr. Z, let's say, for example, we're going to be practicing a little bit with this take it and drop it behavior. What I like to do is practice like I did a little bit earlier, where you have two toys or you have multiple toys and you exchange between the different items and get your puppy to go from one item to another. So let's say this toy was alive. I'm going to let it go limp. Now this toy is going to come alive, and of course he's very similar to one of my puppies where he tries to catch everything at once. So right now Mr. Z says, oh my gosh, there we go. So now he let go of the original toy, even though he's frolicking in the beginning with both, or attempting to have both. So right now Mr. Z is doing a great job. The toy is alive, we're playing. I sometimes even like to go and sort of get the puppies a little excited, kind of rub and sort of touch the body. So that way as you're playing, you're kind of revving the engine and then practicing coming back from that. A lot of puppies, as they get excited, have a hard time shutting down or taking a little break from that excitement. So, but as you can see, we're going from one toy to another. Ready? Take it. Yes. So as my puppy's playing and grabbing for the toy, you guys will want to come up with a slogan. So either drop it, nice job, out, or you could have release, whatever you prefer, give. You're not going to say leave it though. So leave it is going to be off limits. So when we go into practicing with leave it, which we might do after this fun practice, is leave it's are for things that are always off limits and dangerous or just something we shouldn't engage with. Ready? Find it. So for Mr. Handsome, when it comes to engaging with toys he's allowed to have, he's now learning how to also relinquish something, but not find me coming near him or the item overwhelming or threatening. Ready? Take it. So again, we kind of get the toy alive, see if he wants to go grab it. He's like, he doesn't love that one as much as he prefers these two because they have a little bit more rope to them. But he could also be getting a little bit tired. Ready? Oh, you like that guy better? Ready? So if he prefers sometimes little rubber toys, what I like to do is, let's say he's found interest in one of them and he starts practicing gnawing on it. I would recommend to then make it where you turn it into a game. So let's say he's enjoying chewing something he's allowed to have. I would either then make it beneficial. So as you enter his bubble, I know we've discussed a little bit with treat and retreat. So for example, he's chewing. I'm going to go ahead and toss some snacks in his little bubble and walk away. So what I'm teaching him is as I come near with a toy or a chew or something he finds appealing, I'm making it more beneficial as I enter his bubble. So again, now he's like, where'd you go, lady? So if, let's say this was a chew or, again, a toy or even a slow feed bowl or something similar, having it where they're enjoying, let's say, a meal, and then you go and drop in a little bit of training treats or some chicken or some string cheese, then you interrupting their little moment doesn't turn into threatening or overwhelming. So, but let's say he's doing a great job. He was playing with one little item. We'll see if he wants to go for it again. He says he's very food-driven today and would rather have a few extra snacks. Nice job. And then we might try this one. Ready? Get that toy. He's like, no, there's so many funny noises in the building today. So your main goal for your playing with your puppy is make sure that the toys are of a length that you and your puppy can play with at times can be really helpful. The other option, though, is have multiples so you can rotate through the different items. Ready, sir? So remember that rope toys and things that he can break down with his mouth would not be considered safe to be left alone with him. These are going to be toys that are, again, considered more interactive, where he and you would be playing together. So we don't want to have anything that he can break down with his mouth, and then if you're not watching, turn into an obstruction. So since puppies are not always the brightest when it comes to sometimes what they chew and what they ingest, these would be things that I would always supervise him and play with him, pick them up when you're done and save them for another moment. He says there's probably a snack in this crack, and he says he's very hopeful he might be able to get it. Oh my goodness, you almost caught it? Okay, well, 1 second, Ebba. So again, for the handsome guy, ready, Zeus? Well, maybe you have to grab it with a little piece of maybe a little maybe pen or something, or pencil can go in there and grab it. Ready? Well, Ebba, did you want to help Mama do a little bit with some proper hellos in a moment? What do you think? Ready? Find it. So notice how as she came into the bubble, a lot of times Mr. Z gets a bit excited to see her. So ready? Zeus. I went right into working a few find its. I'm just going to quickly go and grab his leash because, of course, I forgot it over by his pile of goodies. So don't mind me as I go out and come back in. Ready? Zeus. He says, oh my gosh, this cute little human. So I like to, for example, and I know I'm a little bit out of camera range potentially. So whenever you're working with a puppy and either new, excuse me, new folks coming into the home or littles in the home or even family members where the puppy might tend to get a little excited, we want to make sure that your leash, oh, he wants to get a crumb. That's okay. We'll find these crumbs. So you want to make sure your leash is on. The benefit to using gear is because if, let's say, your puppy is too rambunctious, or not in a bad way, but let's say they tend to jump on your guests or your family members or your little ones, a lot of times your puppies don't realize that the jumping is maybe not appropriate from our perspective, but because they're so excited or sometimes overwhelmed, they might go into doing those jumping behaviors. Hey, Ebba, do you mind hanging out there for 1 second? Maybe Mr. Z and I will come say hi to you. Would that be okay? Yeah. So you stay right there and I'll be right back. So whenever you're going to be doing some proper hellos, you want to make sure, ready, Zeus? I'm sorry, I'm getting over this cold from like 4 weeks ago practically, and it just doesn't want to leave me alone. So Ebba, you hold still for 1 second. So if, for example, your little one tends to get excitable, just like your puppy, Ebba, can you just hold still for a second, not make crazy wild lady noises? So if your babes tend to be a little rambunctious as well, I'd make it where sometimes it's more coexisting, excuse me, coexisting and not always intimate all the time. So it's perfectly fine to have some alone time for the two so they can take breaks from each other. And this would also be the same setup for, let's say, other dogs. So right now what I'm doing is while Ebba's hanging out there, ready, Zeus? I'm making it kind of fun to be near her, but to do other things instead. So right now we're doing a couple little find its near Ebba. So that way it's not instantly she is the target. Nice job, Zeus. So then we might bring them over to this little bubble and then do another little find it. If your puppy was ever hesitant or nervous around the new person or thing or whatever it might be, do not force them to go closer to go find food. So the only time I ever do find it's near the thing is if my puppy's showing that they're comfortable and not overwhelmed or scared. If I was having him choose between feeling safe and getting a snack, that could be very confrontational for him in the sense that it could be creating conflict. So what I mean in that scenario is if, let's say, new little people or adults were a little bit apprehensive or spooky for him, and now he had to choose between staying safe and getting a tidbit, like a snack, he might go and grab the snack and then all of a sudden not realize why is he so close to the thing. So ready, Zeus? Nice. So let's say I'm going to try a little bit with the hellos. Ready? We're going to get a little sit. Ebba, would you like to pat Mr. Z a little bit? You can go ahead. So what I like to do is like, hello there, wild woman. So go ahead. You can say hi again. So when I'm practicing with Mr. Z, he says he's going to lay down instead. So I want him to think that it's perfectly okay to do a couple little, oh, nice smooches. Did he give you a nice little kiss-a-roo? Oh, I know, those slimy pupparoos. So obviously, sometimes your puppies will also give some smooches. But if you're a little one, I know, he's just a friendly man. Here, do you want to have some snacks? You'll be okay. No, I think you're going to be, oh, here you go, Mr. Handsome. So I'm going to give you some snacks, Hippo. Can you maybe toss a few at a time for Mr. Z? Here. You're good for now. All right, Ebba doesn't want to help me with her find its. So another fun game that you could do, though, for your littles is have them have something very benign that's not super high value. And then have them, as the puppy comes near them or around them, toss some snacks. Ready, Zeus? The benefit to that is now it's taking the excitement off of the target, which would be the small human or the adult. And now instead of going in sort of jumping or getting exciting and making contact, the puppy could be doing a couple find its, getting a little bit more comfortable near the new thing, and then start to not really mind that this new novel situation is occurring. If every time there's a new person, it always equaled, hi, how are you, with pats, then it could turn into a moment where your puppy starts to view small humans or other distractions as instant hellos. That can lead to frustration down the road, and we want to make sure that a lot of the practice could also be some neutrality near the things. So notice how Mr. Z right now hanging out with my little one nearby. Ebba, you're doing a great job, by the way. With him hanging out, he's now decided to kind of chill and veg here versus being right up against her or lunging and sort of rushing her to go say hello. So nice job. Oh my goodness, some tickles. So for Mr. Z, when practicing, make sure equipment is on. You're giving him outlets that might be more appropriate within his comfort range. So if he doesn't know how to do a downstay instantly because he's too excited or too overwhelmed, we might go into find its to start. But then let's say Mr. Handsome's doing a great job settling. I'm going to feed him for all this softness near the new little person. Thank you, Ebba, for helping. He's doing a good job now, huh? He did give you a little smoocheroo, but he's being very gentle, right? In the ear. I'm sorry. He just says you maybe needed a little ear cleaning. But he's doing a real nice job. No, it was too much tickles. So, but this can also be a great way to practice around other dogs.
Made my ear hurt again.
Oh, okay. So Ebba's been complaining that I think she, from her previous little cold moment, her ear has been a little bit clogged. So, but I don't think it's an ear infection. I think it's just some pressure. So, but you'll see that sometimes too, if you've got multiple dogs at home, creating bubbles for each, having sometimes some time together and other times time together, but the one that is not quite as interested could maybe move away from the environment or the situation, while maybe the puppy, who might be the eager beaver, is on the equipment and therefore unable to continuously pursue the adult dog that maybe would like to take breaks. So also remember that with puppies and adolescents, as they're maturing and sort of going into teenagehood, out of puppyhood, that you might get bigger feelings and bigger responses to things where before it was almost seemed more manageable or understandable. So remember that as they change, so might their behaviors and their skill set. But keep your end consistent and they'll do just fine. Nice job. So this is beautiful. Nice little vegging. So we'll give Mr. Z a little break. I'm going to give him a nice little find it here, and we'll do another little video in just a second. Good job, Zeus. Thanks for helping, Ebba.